7-2. Meet the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. They are 7-2 as well. Hello again, everybody. George Kellis. What a magnificent evening it is here in Martins Ferry tonight for this incredible rivalry, one of the 5 oldest rivalries in Ohio high school football. Don Sloan joins me now, and we're just about ready for the kickoff. It's incredible. We started here 9 weeks ago. It was August the 25th on our initial game of the week. Don Sloan and I were here, and it's almost peculiar. The only difference is it's dark. On that night, the temperature was about the same as what it is tonight. So here we are from August the 25th to October the 27th, Don Sloan, and it's hard to fathom that we're in the middle of autumn and we've got these kinds of weather conditions.
That's the first thing I thought of. Feels just the same, steamy, muggy in this press box as it did on that opening night, and we're underway.
Bellaire receives the kick at about the 2-yard line, and the Reds bring it back out to around the 20, where they will put it in play. First down and 10 for the Bellaire Big Reds. There you see 77 for the Big Reds. That's Chad Tobin, one of the leaders of their interior line, and will be introducing the offense right now. Materkoski, Benji Littell, Courtney Redman are the setbacks. Josh Baldwin, Josh Stasky, and Rocky Thoburn is the tight end. Get back to the interior line here momentarily. Materkoski under center. As you see, a pair of setbacks stationed behind him, and Materkoski will throw on first down. He's in trouble under some pressure. They've got him, and down he goes for a big loss. Back inside the 15, all the way back to the 11-yard line. Negative yardage of about 9 or 10 yards on first down, and Materkoski just couldn't find any of his mates open down the field, Don. There's a penalty marker down, however, at the end of this play, and Materkoski reacting as though it's against Ferry. Now, the Big Red interior front, LaRoche, Tobin, Bates, Sherwood, and Maupin.
And Materkoski, a guy, George, this season really hurting teams with his legs. That time, flushed out of the pocket a little bit, but the pressure coming up, Redinger leading the way, and Ferry with a strong effort from their front wall to bring him down for the big loss, and a penalty being tacked onto this one as well.
Well, it would have been a loss of about 10 after the mark-off at the end of the play for some sort of a major foul. You wash this whole thing out, and Bellaire winds up with second down and 4 at their own 26-yard line. Materkoski back in the shotgun, hands the ball off, and trudging forward very close to the first down is the ball carrier, and underneath the pile.
It was Jeremy Rigger on the carry. Rigger with a nice short pickup. Let's take a look at the Rider defense here. Wink, Redinger, Holmes, and Powers. And that's your front wall. The backers, Anderson, Holt, Danehart, and David Cornett. The secondary, Ricky Lay, John Yoder, and Jimmy Fleming. And Jimmy Fleming's a good one. He can sure cover in that secondary.
Interesting contrasts in styles, not to mention the way this rivalry is in terms of its intensity. The inside give, and that will be good for a first down. So the penalty hurts Martins Ferry on this initial series for Bellaire. They're going to measure this, I believe, but almost invariably this looks like it's good for a first down. And Jack Prettyman, the referee, says indeed it is first down Bellaire. The Big Reds have the ball at their own 31-yard line. So the last couple of years it's been Ferry. And they've gone to the postseason the last 2 years. Unless something totally absurd happens in the next 24 hours, both these teams will be in the postseason. Ferry has already mathematically clinched. The pass is complete. And it'll go for another first down out across the 45 and up near midfield.
That's Donald Obule with the reception for the Big Reds. Went right across the first down marker, turned around, and there it was, Materkoski with a nice pass. And your Belmont and Harrison Career Center instant replay, here it is. Low snap, Materkoski grabs it, steps up in the pocket, and you got to respect his running ability, then boom.
You see the soft cushion right there. Obule was wide open on the play, and that is the one Achilles heel that Ferry has had this year, has been in their secondary on pass defense. Bellaire will have its vulnerabilities against the run. We'll talk about that when Ferry has the ball. Meantime, it's Materkoski keeping, and he'll get about 3 yards off the left side, crosses midfield into Martins Ferry territory.
And Joey Danehart comes up and makes a stop there. You see Danehart, number 23 for the Purple Riders. And that is really the key. The games that we have done involving Bellaire this year, John Marshall game, the St. Clairsville game, the way teams got hurt, they stopped the pass, but Materkoski running out of the pocket ended up being really the big gainers, the big plays for the Bellaire Big Reds.
The Reds line up in the I formation. The handoff to the tailback. Not much running room, and this is one of the key elements in this game. Martins Ferry has been stout against the run and is good at running the football. Bellaire has always been good throwing the ball, and the big thing with the Purple Riders when they get the football is to keep an eye on their rushing offense, which is the staple of what they do.
And that brings up 3rd and 7 now for the Big Reds.
And again, they line up in the I. Play fake. Materkoski under pressure, and he'll just throw it away. Good defense that time. Courtney Redman was the intended receiver, but that play never had a chance to connect. 8:39 to go in the first quarter. Still no score, and the Big Reds will send the punting unit out there.
The key is keeping this guy in the pocket as we look at the Belmont and Harrison instant replay, and doing just that. Nick Redinger, he's got the contain, keeps him in there. Adam Holmes as well, and Massarelli really no choice but to throw that one away, and the Big Reds will be forced to punt.
Plenty of time and a nice kick. Fair catch called for at the 18-yard line, and that's where the Purple Riders will put it in play as the ball is fair caught by Chris Meeker.
And we talked about the temperature being similar on opening night, but what a difference with these two teams, both losing opening night and both now coming in with very solid seasons as we look at the Rider offense.
All right, Lance Mirch is the sophomore quarterback. Dustin Holt and Joey Danehart, Meeker, Lee, and Wink round out the skill package. Yarnovic, McPeak, Redinger, Holmes, and Powers, the interior front. Ferry to the ground initially, and they waste no time with Joey Danehart, who's been a guy who's just come on steadily over the course of this season to make a big impact here.
And Danehart has. Early in the year, the opening game, using a lot of different running backs, and Danehart, one of those guys that has stepped up.
Houston, Stevie, Maupin, and Sherwood in the 44. Mamie, Littell, Thoburn, and Frizzy, the linebackers. Mosslander, Stemkowski, and Barnes in the Bellaire secondary. This looks like an offside against the Big Reds as somebody leaned into the neutral zone. And the mark-off will make it a 2nd and 1. Well, Mother Nature has certainly been good to us over the course of this season. I'll tell you how peculiar the atmosphere is here. They had kids in shorts doing things with beach balls in the pregame with a band. And you look up at the stadium lights and there are bugs swarming about. It's just not something that you're accustomed to seeing on October the 27th. Here is Ferry in the I formation to give it to the tailback. And struggling forward for the first down and additional yardage has been the guy that they've gone to consistently in recent weeks, Joey Danehart, and a first down, Martins Ferry. They have it at their own 35.
Yeah, Bellaire started off, they showed a 4 in the front wall and dropped a guy down in a nose spot over the center. And Danehart busts through and makes a nice gain. Good second effort by Danehart for the first down, as they have it now 1st and 10 on their own 35 to the Purple Riders.
Again in the I formation. Give it again to Danehart, running right ahead. Not messing around at all against the Bellaire defense, which at times this year has been vulnerable to the run. And that's really the way to beat Bellaire. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it that way. 2nd down and 8 after a gain of 2, and we'll get another look as Bellaire does a pretty good job to keep this thing bottled.
Jarrett McPeak with the block, but watch Houston fights off the block and ends up making a tackle. I mean, he's on his way, falling backwards, and while he's going backwards, keeps enough of his leverage to make the tackle.
Ferry, short drop back pass incomplete. Mirch had a big game. The first time I saw him was against St. C, and he struggled on that particular evening against a Red Devil team that really is playing about as well as anybody around here right now. But the young man has come on, and last week threw for over 200 yards as Martins Ferry continued to roll through what is now a 7-2. There's John Magistro, who took over this program in 1984. Of course, you saw a picture of Dave Bruni earlier. This is his 21st year.
And I'll tell you what, awesome jobs by John Magistro and Dave Bruni. As we mentioned, both teams lost their opener, and they since then have just got better and better.
And the inside handoff across the 40-yard line and up to the 42 as the two teams jockey around for field position here in a scoreless first quarter.
You look at Ferry drop their opener to Cambridge, Bellaire drop their opener to Indian Creek, and to be quite honest, at that point, where are you thinking playoffs for both these teams?
It'll be 4th down and 3 for Martins Ferry, and they will send the punt team out there. So both defenses do their respective jobs here in the first quarter. Meeker back in punt formation. Meeker kicks it, and it's a hard line drive fielded back at the 15-yard line. Good coverage by the Purple Riders. A tackle made along the 20. We're going to take a timeout here from Purple Rider Stadium. 5:57 to go in the first quarter on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. It is Bellaire nothing and Martins Ferry nothing.
Thank you for watching the WTOV9 Game of the Week between the Bellaire Big Reds and the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. The
1st and 10 Bellaire. This was almost exactly the starting point, just over the 20-yard line on their last possession. Out of the shotgun, Materkoski trying to get somewhere to operate, dumps it off. The pass is complete and across the 25-yard line and up close to the first down. The reception pulled in there by the outlet guy, Vince Stemkowski.
Materkoski had a lot of pressure, a lot of heat coming from the Riders. He fought it off and ends up finding his release receiver, and that would be Vince Stemkowski. Here comes the pressure.
Once he steps up too, Don, it creates all kind of problems because then defenders start to move upfield.
There's the outlet, Stemkowski.
All right, back to the action we go, and now it's Materkoski steps up on a 2nd down, has a man wide open. This is a 1st down out across the 40 and onto the 45-yard line, where it'll be a Bellaire 1st down. Catch made there by Abul, who is a guy who at 6'4", 175 started out at New Philly this year, but then transferred over to Bellaire near mid-season.
Yeah, Donald Abiel, he's 6'4", nice size for a receiver. He steps up, makes the grab. He's 6'4", 175. And if I remember when I did their preseason preview, he was a guy that was even seeing some time at quarterback out there.
All right, penalty markers are down, and this play will be blown dead before it ever gets started. Illegal procedure, the call against Bellaire. The mark-off will come back to the Bellaire 40-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 15. 4:48 to play, first quarter, no score.
Yeah, I remember out at the preview at New Philly talking to Quaker coach Bob Zontini, and he was talking about the athleticism of Abiel and the fact that the guy could play quarterback, he could play wide receiver, that he was a kid that could fit into a lot of spots, and he's a nice-looking wideout.
The inside give. And that is Tommy Mamie, 5'11", 170-pound senior. He'll get about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Let's take another look here. There's Materkoski. Boom, handoff straight to Mamie. Mamie working to the outside and picking up the yardage. Gain of 3 in the play brings up 2nd and 7.
Keep an eye on 45, Dustin Holt. He has been all over the field defensively this year, and Materkoski is mugged by a trio of Purple Riders who all arrived back there at the same time.
Yeah, led by that guy, Nick Redinger, and that was like the dam broke out at Hoover. And here comes the water, and the water was purple, and Mr. Redinger leading the charge. Not one guy, but you got about three. Just great pressure right up the middle. There's Redinger in there, J.R. Anderson as well, and a big sack for the Purple Riders.
That's something you don't see very often against Bellaire's offensive line, is a threesome back there on a jailbreak like that. Third down. There was a penalty declined on the play by Ferry, so it's 3rd down and 13. Materkoski back again under some serious pressure, and he launches it way down the field. The ball is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver,
Vince Stemkowski, and I'll tell you what, I think he would have liked to have that one over because it was right there, right in the breadbasket. But Materkoski, George showing a lot of poise. Last time he had the jailbreak. This time another strong pass rush by Ferry. What does he do? He steps up out of it, breaks the grass for one guy, and then lets a pretty pass go. And Stemkowski just can't hang on to it. Been a tough catch going over the shoulder. But
that's a
good effort by
nightmare for
Materkoski.
both teams, if you think about it. First, they almost made the big play. Would have been terribly frustrating for Ferry, and then the fact that they can't make the connection on the other end. Now it's Ferry on the punt return. And a good job to get away from a couple of guys, but too many Purple Riders down there in pursuit of Tyrone Platt. And speaking of transfers, Platt was at Wheeling Park for about half of this season and moved over here. So both teams have been aided in the depth department by defections from other places. As Platt comes to the sidelines, and he's a young man with a pretty bright future, I would say. 3:14 to go now in the first quarter. No score. Bellaire almost offside again. Now here's the handoff and a run to the outside. This is a 1st down. And more out across the 40-yard line. And the tackle made on Joey Danehart in front of the Bellaire bench, but not before he picks up about 21 yards. He's been a highlight film of himself on a couple of games that we've seen this year. I think it was a River game. He just went berserk.
And let's take a look at it. Here he goes. Joey Danehart trying to bust to the outside. The lead block of Redinger. He's pulling. Boom. Right there. He gets around the corner, turns on the Jets, showing some pretty good speed there for the pickup for the Riders.
And we get right back to it. And Martins Ferry gets a strong gain of 7 on a 1st down play. I have to admit that I got hung up on the previous replay. What this is a running play, and that's 42. They just keep throwing them at you. Donnie DeLesk this time. You'll see a lot of different elements in this running game. 2nd down and 3 from the 47-yard line. This is a 1st down carry by Danehart, and Danehart on the move. He is finally tackled by the shoestrings, but not before he gets to the Bellaire 37-yard line.
Yeah, Danehart needed 7 incoming to get 1,000 for the year, and he's well off to it. That play, Jarrett McPeak was pulling. He paved the way. He was the big road grader leading. Take a look. Here he comes. He's pulling to be Jarrett McPeak. There he is, leading the way for Joey Danehart.
And he just got a piece of his man, and that gave Danehart an opportunity. DeLesk this time, the inside give over the 35. And another good 1st down gain by the Purple Riders. Told you, they're tough to stop on the ground, and once they get into a rhythm with their running game, it can be a very disturbing situation for opposing defensive coordinators. A gain of a solid 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and a short 5.
And that was Donnie DeLesk on the carry. You got to like that. That's a big win for the Riders on 1st down, picking up 5 yards.
On a delayed count, Danehart this time is wheeled down in the backfield. And a brilliant defensive play administered right there. You saw 71 Matt Sherwood, Mike Sherwood's boy, and he's a 6'1", 210-pound two-way lineman here.
Yeah, they were trying to trap Sherwood, did not get there quick enough, and Sherwood fights his way through. There's the pulling guard trying to get Sherwood. He fights off the blocker Redinger and meets Danehart to throw him for a loss of 4 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9 with it on the 36 of the Big Reds.
40 seconds and counting. Still no score here in the first quarter. George Kellis and Don Sloan from Purple Rider Stadium in Martins Ferry. Out of the deep eye, they hand it to the up back. And Ferry sticks with the ground game on 3rd and long. And Bellaire stops it well short at the 32-yard line. That'll bring up 4th, and we'll call it 6. 10 seconds. That should be the end of the first quarter as the clock continues to wind down, and that will bring the first quarter to a close. So, neither team has established much of an edge yet. There you see the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard after a quarter at Martins Ferry. It is the Big Reds nothing, the Purple Riders nothing. You're watching high school football on WTOV TV 9. Second quarter set to get underway here at Purple Rider Stadium in Martins Ferry. George Kellis along with Don Sloan. You saw a scoreless first period courtesy of DeFelice Brothers scoreboard. And this is what we do know. Martins Ferry mathematically clinched before this game even started. Bellaire a virtual clinch. Ferry's going to go for this on 4th down and 6 at the Bellaire 33-yard line. They go to the run. Danehart gets to the outside. Does he get the first down? We'll see where they mark the football, and I think he might have it.
I think they got it, George. They sure did. I'll tell you what, 4th and 6, that shows a heck of a lot of confidence in your running game, a lot of confidence in those offensive linemen and your backs to get it done. 4th and 6, thinking pass. No, they're thinking let's have Redinger pull. That opens up the hole. Joey Danehart reads the block very well. And
had they made the tackle right there where you saw a Bellaire player on his back, it would have been short, but Danehart did a nice job to keep on cranking. And they go right back to Joey D, and he's got a solid gain on first down again of about 6, maybe 7.
You were talking about the postseason and looking like Ferry's in and Bellaire's almost.
I think by the time people watch this, Don, right, Bellaire will have clinched. And the thing is, the winner of this game
could host.
Likely will host. And if that's the way it washes out, Division 4 plays on Friday night, but Ferry would be here next Friday if they are hosting. Bellaire would get a Saturday afternoon opportunity. As they would make an exception as the Big Reds do not have lights and play on Saturdays. All right, now on a 2nd down.
He got another first down.
It's a first down.
Danehart once again with a nice carry. But I asked you earlier, as you take another look at the replay, Belmont and Harrison Career Center instant replay. Here comes Joey Danehart picking up the first down for the Purple Riders. But opening night, did you think that both of them would get in?
I think when we left here opening night, knowing that Bellaire had gotten smacked around at Indian Creek, and Ferry lost a tough game here and lost. Yeah, it was not looking real good. But 9 weeks later, these two teams have remained poised. They've grown as teams. They're well coached, and they're great programs with tradition and confidence in what they're doing here. And
Danehart a gain of 5, but boy, you've got to look that Dave Bruni and John Magistro really have done fabulous jobs this season. Here you get a good look at Dave Bruni, coach of the Purple Riders. I mean, these were a couple of young football teams coming in, and they've really matured.
Here is Ferry on a 2nd down and 6, the first real scoring threat of the game by either team. They are at the Bellaire 9-yard line. Not a lot of running room there as Bellaire was able to get defenders into the hole and shut it down quickly.
Yeah, and there's a hold too, a flag thrown in late in the play, holding, and that's going to back the Riders up.
These are the kinds of mistakes that could ultimately determine how this thing plays out. And a lot of people I've talked to felt that this would be a high-scoring game coming in, but so far the defenses have more than held their own here with 9:56 to play in the half and still no score.
And for this late in the season, both teams relatively healthy. If I'm correct, Buck Maupin for Bellaire just playing on offense, not playing on defense, so that's going to hurt the Big Reds somewhat. But for this late in the year, both teams as good a shape as you can expect.
Knock
a few
on
bumps,
wood.
Bruises here and there.
Because you want them both to give be healthy and give a good account of themselves when the second season begins next week. All right, here comes Martins Ferry. Again, Mirch under center. The handoff to Holt, and Holt is struggling and won't get far. It'll be third down and about 18. Martins Ferry needs to get inside the Bellaire 4-yard line for a first down. The Big Reds trying to dig in here and avoid falling behind in this early defensive struggle that has materialized. They have not gone to the airwaves a whole lot. 3rd and 17. Mirch back. He throws. The ball is picked off near the goal line. And Bellaire will have it at about the 2. And you see Joey Mosslander made the pick. So that will thwart a Martins Ferry scoring opportunity. And the Big Reds, deep in their own end, hang on here and preserve what is a scoreless tie.
Here's Mirch. Before that, plenty of faking going on. That opened things up, a man open, but Mirch can't quite get it there, and Mosslander comes up and picks up the interception. That was the pass to make because the receiver was open in the end zone, but Mirch just not quite enough stuff on it, and the Big Reds with the interception, but now deep in their own end.
Shotgun out of the end zone, and here's a pass thrown to the near side over the head and incomplete. And the intended receiver on the play is Josh Baldwin. Another lanky string bean at 6'1", 160-pound junior. Both these teams will have quality underclassmen returning next year. Danehart is a junior, Dustin Holt, so the two starting setbacks for Martins Ferry are underclassmen. And Bellaire's got quite a few young players that are coming on. 2nd down and 10 for the Reds. Nothing tricky there, just a quarterback keeper off the left side to give the Bellaire offense a little bit of breathing room, but not much. Be 3rd down and long here for the Reds.
Just trying to get a little breathing room.
There you see Materkoski.
Not much breathing room here tonight. You see the fans in the back of the end zone. I'd say jam-packed as usual for this. One of the greatest rivalries in high school football, especially here in the state of Ohio. Great crowd here tonight for Ferry and Bellaire.
Standing room only. And there's a lot of big things happening in the big rivalries around the state. Don will be talking about Canton, McKinley, and Massillon, a game that can be seen here Sunday night following our Sports Sunday program. They're trying to work this side again. Incomplete. Same play. They must feel like that's something they can exploit because they ran that play twice on that series. Josh Baldwin could not pull it in again. And Bellaire will have to bring its punt unit back out on the field. We'll see perhaps what it is that Bellaire feels that they can do here.
Well, they had Baldwin running and down, out, and up, but he could just not separate himself from the defender for the Purple Riders.
Tyrone Platt is the defender on the play, and he is a youngster, but did a good job. The punt is fielded, fair caught at the Bellaire 37, so we're going to take a break. The guy on the fair catch, by the way, was Jimmy Fleming. When we come back, Martins Ferry will have great field position at the Bellaire 37-yard line on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. Still nothing doing in Martins Ferry.
Elect Representative Charlie Wilson, right for Southeastern Ohio.
DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. A pair of donuts on the board right now. Mirch, the Ferry quarterback, is back, and he throws. The ball is caught. This is a touchdown of 37 yards for the Martins Ferry Purple Riders.
Chris Meeker, he's a junior, and Mr. Meeker was not meek. Makes a nice adjustment for the Purple Riders. Comes back for the football and makes it. So Mirch to Meeker. That equals 6 for Ferry. Nice pass play for those two. A 36-yard completion for the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. Let's take another look at it. Good pass protection. Mirch throwing a nice ball, does the junior. And there is Meeker. Good effort, and he was covered. But Meeker reaches up there and rips it down. That's a Belmont and Harrison Career Center Instant replay, and it's a big one. It's a touchdown for Ferry.
Mirch really has come a long way, the 6'3 sophomore, and the kick is up and good. Extra point tacked on by Mike Schaefer. Martins Ferry draws first blood here with 7:45 to go in the half. Purple Riders 7, Big Reds 6 on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard.
And so far, George Ferry, really, the Bellaire defense bend, but not breaking. Ferry's running game looking very good, but surprisingly, it's the pass that ends up being the big play to get the touchdown. Let's take a look at what we've got coming up here on WTOV9 tomorrow. College football, Wisconsin and Iowa at noon. It's a Big Ten doubleheader because then the breeze blows in from Purdue in the afternoon as we have Ohio State taking on the Purdue Boilermakers at 3:30, and the loser of that game could probably kiss the Rose Bowl goodbye. The winner, especially if it's Purdue, looking pretty good.
And they are wired up here on the home side. Leading 7-0, Schaefer, the junior, will kick it off. Taken by one of the up men at the 22-yard line, and Bellaire on the return of about 10 yards out to the 32. Coming out of there with it is Matt Wallner, who is a backup quarterback on this team and a contributor on special teams. So the Big Reds yet to show any consistency with their running game. They've completed some passes, but Ferry's done a good job in the first half, Donna, keeping Materkoski bottled up, and they haven't allowed him to beat them with his wheels. Materkoski back in the shotgun. Little swing pass comes out to Courtney Redman. Redman, who has a burst of speed, unable to get out into the open field for much of anything there at all.
And Ferry showing a little different look on their pass rush that time. The tackle goes inside. Brad Wink, the end, loops inside, putting the heat on, but it was a dump out to Redman, and Redman losing about a half yard on the play for the Big Reds. But Ferry doing a lot of different things with their pass rushing, and it's been effective. It's a double-edged sword if you rush Materkoski, and we saw it in other games this year, because if he breaks that pass rush, he can really rack up the yardage.
Play fake, and Materkoski, who was back under center that time, runs to the left, and Ferry obviously has done its homework in watching film and preparing defensively for this. Bill Bruni and the Martins Ferry defensive unit doing a great job here in the first half, keeping Bellaire from having any kind of a consistency in its running game. 6.5 minutes to play in the half. Ferry leads 7-0. Moving right along here at a brisk pace. Back into the shotgun they go. Materkoski has time, and he airs it deep. The ball is caught brilliantly, and a great hookup in double coverage.
Yeah, and Vince Stemkowski, he wasn't going to let that one get away. Stemkowski hauls it in down to the 20-yard line of the Martins Ferry Purple Riders, right down the middle, like the one in the first quarter that ended up being dropped. Materkoski, plenty of time this time. He airs it out. There's Stemkowski, two guys back there. The safety gets turned around, and Stemkowski hauls it in. Big gainer for the Reds.
First down, Bellaire at the Martins Ferry 21-yard line. The throw over the middle is behind the intended receiver. And that's Ben Doyle.
And there's a good look at Jimmy Fleming. He was on the coverage. I think he was going for the ball, and the ball ended up being thrown behind the receiver. Here goes Materkoski, puts it in there. And there's Fleming. He was going for the INT. It did not happen. Brings up 2nd and 10 on the 21 of the Riders.
Here is Bellaire at the Martins Ferry 21-yard line. The delay to Redman. Redman slashing off the right side, and he is down at the 15. Gain of about 5.5 yards.
Yeah, and Dustin Holt was kind of like a steer wrestler at the old North Washington Rodeo, if you will, there. The runner trying to go to the outside, and Holt hanging on, wrestling, and bringing them down.
Dustin Holt is tough.
There he is.
He had to have against St. C, I think it was, he seemed like he was in on every defensive call. Here is Redman again slashing off the right side, and he's very close to the 10-yard line, and they'll probably have to measure this. It's either going to be 4th and very short or a first down. Here come the sticks. 5:11 to go in this half. Short by a smidgen. Invariably, Bellaire will go for it here at the Martins Ferry 10-yard line. Riders lead 7-0. Materkoski under center. Ferry's bringing the heat. You can see it. Materkoski, we'll see where they mark this. He got underneath. The question is, did his knee?
He didn't get much, but he didn't need much.
Yeah.
I think that sums this one up.
He definitely got what he needed, but his knee went down pretty early. And we'll get probably another chance to look at it after the measurement here. This is pretty big, although it's there's plenty of time left in this football game, but Ferry would love to stop Bellaire, and Bellaire would love to keep rolling here as they trail. That is a Bellaire first down. He needed about 3 or 4 inches, Don, and he got about half the length of the football.
He didn't need much, but he didn't get much, and that's what he needed.
There's a relieved,
however that works.
A relieved John Magistro. What they've done here since 1992 has been indescribable in terms of efficiency and excellence at Bellaire High School. The inside handoff, not much going down there. I believe that was Redman on the carry. So both teams using plenty of clock on their offensive possessions, and both defenses making the offensive units work for scores. 2nd down and 8. Bellaire could conceivably get a first down very near the goal line. 2nd and 8. Materkoski on a short drop, dumps it out. The ball's caught. The ball is loose. And it's covered by a Bellaire player, the receiver on the play. That was almost a turnover. A well-conceived play, as you saw 35 Benji Littell make the catch, Don.
Let's take another look at it. Here's Materkoski, the fake to Redman, releasing out of the backfield Littell, and then he's going to get popped right, boom. There, helmet right on the football by John Yoder, and luckily for the Reds, Littell on the recovery, but Yoder didn't quit. Yoder slipped and then got back up and really laid on a big stick.
3rd and a long 3 for the Big Reds at the Martins Ferry 4-yard line. Still 7-0, Martins Ferry. Materkoski throws, and the pressure created havoc on that play, and Materkoski had to dump it off at the feet of Littell, the intended receiver on the play.
Yeah, things were opening up well, but one thing the Big Reds did not plan on, David Cornett being in the backfield, Brad Wink there as well, and Materkoski too much heat to get it out to his running back out of the backfield.
4th and goal. The clock stopping with 3:13 to play. 7-0 Ferry. The shotgun snap. Materkoski is hit near the goal line. He has a touchdown. And those are the kinds of things that Materkoski brings to the table.
That's what he's done. He's done it all year. You can pressure him, harass this guy all you want, but if you don't get him, he might get you. And that's exactly what Matt Materkoski did there. Great effort by Materkoski. All kinds of heat in the kitchen, the oven, the microwave, everything turned on. He says, let me get out of here. Gets inside of Brad Wink. Wink just not enough of a wrap to get him down, and Materkoski fights his way into the end zone, and we've got a tie ball game.
Yeah, because the extra point is good. So, with 3:07 to play in the first half on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard, we're all tied at 7 at Martins Ferry. We'll be back right after these messages. George Kellis and Don Sloan at Purple Rider Stadium. There it is, the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. That's the pizza worth going after. And I presume if they're still open, and they should be, give them a call and they'll bring you a pizza. At 7-7, you can enjoy what figures to be a great second half in this game between two of the traditional rivals anywhere in high school football, anywhere in America.
You know how it goes with the DeFelice. I'm flying if you're buying.
I know you're eating at some point. All right, here we go with Bellaire kicking off. And Mosslander has it on the tee. And the ball is in the air end over end. And down it comes, fielded at the 11-yard line. Juggled a tad. And upended at the 25-yard line is the return man for the Purple Riders. And coming out of there is 24. And that would be Ricky Lee.
Yeah, the Riders really avert disaster here. Both return men run into each other. Lee keeps his eyes on the prize, gets it out to the 25. That's the Belmont Harrison Career Center. Instant replay.
Nice tackle by Rocky Thoburn on the play. Here is Martins Ferry now with a first down at its own 25-yard line. Good defense as the Big Reds get back there and smother that up in a hurry. And I think that might have been, Sherwood again?
I'm looking at Sherwood, Rocky Thoburn in there as well for the Reds. There's Matt Sherwood, number 71. It would be him coming in from that end spot. Fights off the block from the fullback, and then Thoburn finishes the Riders running back off.
First down, Martins Ferry, as a result of what you saw right there.
All kinds of Reds there, but not making the tackle, and Ferry picking up the first down. That's Jimmy Fleming for the Riders. He gets it out to the 37-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Ferry, all tied up, 7-all second quarter, 2:15 to go, first half.
They'll need a big play of some sort here to have a chance to get downfield. 2:20 to play. The handoff goes to the tailback, and Bellaire's got this stuffed. And the Reds are getting a little better at containing the inside running game of Martins Ferry, which is one of the toughest things around here to stop, because they execute it, they practice it, they work at it, and they're one of the best teams consistently, week in, week out, year in, year out, at running the ball between the tackles, Don.
Yeah, Matt Sherwood making the stop along with Chad Tobin. Both those guys were being trapped, but they stood up their blocker, got up underneath the guy making the block, and ended up fighting their way in and making the tackle. 3 men split and a single setback for the first time here. Mirch trying to run away from the pursuit, and Bellaire closes down quickly. Clock turns at 1:20, a gain on the play of about 2 or 3 yards, and they call a timeout. Bellaire, in fact, is calling the timeout right here, as Ferry now will be looking at a 3rd down and 7. There you see the defensive brain trust of the Big Reds. Bruce Stoltz and company with John Magistro and Don. And here's what we've got coming up. The 18th Congressional District, one of the very interesting race of late. Sunday one-on-one with Eric Miner. His guest will be Mark Guthrie at 11 a.m. on Sunday. And right after that, who else? Bob Ney. So Ney and Guthrie. You want to know all you need to know about this race? One-on-one with Eric Miner, back-to-back, a full hour of Guthrie and Ney Sunday. One-on-one with Eric Miner.
Couldn't get them both at the same time?
Well, Jerry Springer's the guy that's been making the news in that race this week, and the ringmaster will not be there. Eric Miner, I guess, will actually be the ringmaster on Sunday. It's one-on-one with Eric Miner. Don't want to miss it.
And I take it, Don, that the best election coverage to be found anywhere in terms of local election coverage 1 week from Tuesday night right here on WTOV TV.
I sure hope so, because I'll be the one running the show, so I hope so.
Don Sloan, you don't see him on the air as much these days. He's now in an executive capacity, so if something gets screwed up, you call him. All right, now here is the long ball by Mirch, and it's picked off by Bellaire, and back they come to 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. All the way back inside the 30-yard line with 1:06. And the interception on that play courtesy of Dustin Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes has been real solid. We've seen him make quite a few big plays on the game of the week this year, and this one here, pretty darn big, extremely big, if it would lead to a Bellaire score. But Barnes, there he is,
Meeker was the intended receiver, but that was very well defended by the Big Reds. And now, with Materkoski, you never know right here. Materkoski throws late over the middle. He was very close to the line of scrimmage when he got rid of that ball, but they say it's a good toss. The clock continues, however, to turn, and we're under a minute now with 52 seconds. They move the sticks. It is a first down. Bellaire first down. And finally, we get a whistle right here. They do not have the chains in place just yet, and Bellaire in its hurry-up mode. Ball at the 18-yard line of Martin's Ferry.
I think they're adding time to the clock. I think they're adding 6 seconds.
I'd like to see Dave Bruni's reaction to this.
What was that? What was all the six
well,
stuff about?
They couldn't get the chain set. Yeah,
there you go.
So now what you've got is a 45-second half. Materkoski dumps it out in the left flat. Redman juggled it, caught it, and now he cuts it back. Gets about 5 or 6 yards on the play. Now Bellaire gets a timeout call with 33 seconds. It's 7-7. Bellaire trying to capitalize following a turnover late here in the first half.
And here's another look at it. They get the pass out to Redman. Now Dusty Holt's going to be there, but Redman puts in a nice move. Holt slips. That allows him to pick up another 5 yards for Courtney. Redman brings up 2nd down and 6. Just 33 seconds to go here in the first half. Tie ball game. Couple of 7s on the big board.
I'm going to tell you one thing right now. There you see Dave Bruni and Jack Prettyman. If you put the Energizer Bunny and Dave Bruni together and start them both up, the bunny will drop dead long before Bruni does. Trust me, the man is all energy all the time. 33 seconds to go here in the first half. And as far as the crowd-pleasing aspects of this, there has been no disappointment whatsoever from these two fine football teams here in the first 24 minutes of play. And John Magistro, a bit more laid back in his demeanor in the contrast of personalities here tonight.
Now I think we're adding 6 seconds now.
Well, there's 33 seconds on the clock at this time as Jack Prettyman comes waltzing back over here to...
See, I think that's what he meant the first time, not to take 6, but to add 6. Okay.
What was he saying there?
He said, watch me while I whine.
Oh.
So they needed to add 6 seconds earlier, and they took 6, I believe.
Well, somewhere around 33 seconds remain in this half. Here's Bellaire with a 2nd down and 6 at the 14-yard line. Materkoski throws it to the corner again. They've gone to that pass on several occasions. This time the intended receiver on the play is Rocky Thoburn, and they still have not been able to make that play work.
Plenty of pressure in the backfield for Materkoski. It'll be Nick Redinger and Dave Cornett. There's Cornett. Here's the pass. Just overthrown, intended for Thoburn. Now,
thanks to your friends at the Belmont and Harrison Career Center.
Yeah. 31
sponsors
seconds
tonight
now.
of our instant replay. 3rd and 6. Materkoski back under center. They've mixed that up quite a bit with the shotgun. Pass is caught. Turning it back to the inside is Stemkowski. He gets yardage, but not a whole lot, and Bellaire takes what I believe is its last time out with 21 seconds.
Yeah, and I think they're going to send Wallner out to kick a field goal. Let's take a look here at it. Pass is caught, but Stemkowski can't break away. Where's the ball spotted? 11-yard line.
All right, nice job here by the Ferry defenders down in the red zone. And we'll see if Bellaire does elect to try a field goal here, which would be certainly a challenge.
Yeah, Wallner's going to hold it, and Clayton Williams is going to boot it.
It'll be about 27 or 28 yards, we'll call it 28, with a sharp angle to the right. "28-yard field goal attempt forthcoming with 21 seconds to go in the half. The kick is up. It's got plenty of leg. It's good. Well, he hit that perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect.
He hit it perfect. Matt Wallner held it perfect, and it goes through. 10-7 Bellaire.
That's pretty good
Capitalizing on the
execution on that
turnover,
on that field goal, 28 yards right there, and the turnover has been converted into points late in the half. Certainly has to be a source of frustration for Dave Bruni and company as they played very, very well. Materkoski made the big pass play down the field that ignited things to Stemkowski. They went on to get the first touchdown, and then the turnover. Bellaire takes the lead 10-7 with 17 seconds to go in the half. And I don't imagine that Bellaire is going to give Martins Ferry much of an opportunity at a run back right here. At least you wouldn't think so.
Just 17 seconds to go in the half.
Plenty of football remains, so stay tuned at halftime. You'll see the bands, then we should have 24 electric minutes of football, hopefully, for you following the halftime activity. We hope you've enjoyed our Game of the Week series throughout the course of this regular season and invite you to hang with us throughout the postseason. Kick goes out of bounds. Martins Ferry will have it at its own 35-yard line, and as the ball was not touched, there is no time elapsed off the clock here. And certainly the Big Reds will be cautious against the deep ball. Mirch has shown that he can throw the ball down the field. He burnt the Reds defense earlier with a touchdown pass. They opened the scoring 36-yard TD pass. Mirch to Meeker. Bellaire has come back with a Materkoski 3-yard TD run. Ferry keeps it on the ground. Also a 28-yard field goal. And I think at this point in time, the two teams will go in and regroup. The first half comes to a close here at Purple Rider Stadium.
And it was a good one. Bellaire will take the 3-point lead into the locker room. Some big plays, and at the end of the half, the field goal may be the biggest right now, giving the Big Reds that 3-point edge.
There it is, the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard at halftime. It's Bellaire 10, Martins Ferry 7. Back with the bands right after these very important messages. You're watching high school football on WTOV TV now. Halftime in Martins Ferry. It is Bellaire 10, Ferry 7 on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. Let's go down to the field now where the Bellaire marching band is in the process of performing. 10-7. Bellaire leads Martins Ferry at halftime. We'll be back with the Purple Rider Marching Band right after this. Welcome back to Purple Rider Stadium. We're on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. It's halftime. Bellaire leads this game 10-7 over Martins Ferry. And assembled on the field now for their halftime presentation, the Martins Ferry Purple Rider Marching Band. We'll be back with the third quarter kick right after these messages. On the DeFelice Brothers board, 10-7 Bellaire over Martins Ferry. You're watching high school football on WTOV TV 9. Sense the freight train.
Detrain.
Yeah, you betcha. We've had a couple experiences here with that locomotive here this year, and so here we are. It's 10-7 as we get ready to start the third quarter. Bellaire with a couple of late scores to come from behind and take the edge in at halftime. The good thing is this is not a do or die situation for these teams. The one thing, though, they love to beat each other. That's number one. Number two is there's a home game at stake next week. Somebody's going to wind up on the road. And if you're Ferry, you'd much rather have some victim come in town. And if you're Bellaire, the same thing. They'd love to be inhospitable 1 week from Saturday to somebody coming in town and
yeah, but
maybe taking a whooping.
You still want, though, bragging rights over your neighbor for the next 12 months, too.
That's what this game's all about. They got to dine together at the Sparky banquet. So this is a big deal with these two communities. It's a big deal.
And you want Sparky at your table.
Yes, you do. Bellaire to kick off. I don't think Ferry will change a whole lot of what they do offensively here in the second half. And on the return out across the 25 to the 27-yard line, Jimmy Fleming.
Let's take a look back at the first half. This is the first touchdown. Lance Mirch lets her fly, and he hits Mr. Meeker. And Meeker takes it in for the score. Chris Meeker for the touchdown. And back come the Big Reds. Materkoski, dangerous when he's flushed. And he goes in for the touchdown. That ties it at 7. Then a Ferry interception set up a field goal, and the Big Reds lead at 10-7. That is where we stand.
Danehart on first down, blast through the middle. He's got about 12 yards on the game and a first down to the 40.
Yeah, that was a big hole. That was the parting of the seas. Some nice blocking by the front wall, the front line of the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. An interesting perspective from this press box. It's almost as if you are out on top of the football field. I mean, you're
it's
really
a perfect
down
vantage
on these
point
guys.
for a to see what really is happening down there. Danehart again. And I think what Dave Bruni told his guys at halftime is, look, we're just going to keep wearing on these people. We're going to stick with what we do. We're going to run the ball hard inside the tackles, and when they get to sticking their noses perhaps into some places where they should not be, we'll pull it out of there and do some other things with it.
Hey, offensively, the Riders executed very well in the first half. The ground game looked good. You know, the inside traps and pulling McPeak and getting these guys on the outside, that looked good, but that's not looking too good.
No, that's not good.
No, offensively, though, the Riders in the first half looking very strong. The Big Reds coming up with a big play, and you saw Materkoski's touchdown. The play before that, the long pass to Stemkowski, though, is what gave them the touchdown. And they had another one earlier that Stemkowski couldn't hang on to that hurt them. But I think both these teams executed well in the first half. Penalty there, though, against the Riders.
Yeah, they got almost 6 yards on first down and then lost almost all of it as a result of that procedure call. Martins Ferry, second down, we'll call it 9. Opening moments of the third quarter, Bellaire on top 10-7. And got that yardage back. Danehart out to the 45-yard line. It will be third, and we'll call it 5. Danehart has become the bellwether of this Martins Ferry running game. They use a lot of players, but he is a guy that definitely has become the focal point of what they like to do. And they have had some great tailbacks in this scheme. They just keep plugging in new people and running the ball down your throat. Pass is intercepted. This is looking like a big thing for Bellaire on the return, and it's Benji Littell. And Littell is to the 10-yard line of Martins Ferry, and a disaster for the Purple Riders when they had things clicking on the ground, and the next thing you know, Littell steps up out of nowhere. And something went awry here, Don, because it looked like almost that Littell was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Littell.
No receiver anywhere near there.
The linebacker Littell slides out into the flat. You didn't see the receiver in the picture. He wasn't on your screen. Littell, nobody else there but him, and he picks it off. I think Mirch looking a little deeper, but not getting enough air under the ball.
Redman tries to turn the corner, and he's got a long way to go to keep outrunning defenders, as Martins Ferry just seems to have a wave of guys prepared to deal with Bellaire's rushing game.
Here's another look at it.
They just keep stringing this out. Redman runs a long way to get 5 yards.
And that was the third interception for the Riders. The Riders have been picked off in the end zone. The interception setting up the field goal, then that, the third interception.
2nd down and 5 at the 10. Figured that turnovers would have a big impact. Here's Redman up the middle for a touchdown. Courtney Redman. And turnovers have become a problem for Martins Ferry as Bellaire capitalizes again. They have put 10 points on the board as a result of turnovers in just the last 3 minutes or so.
And you hear about a quarterback knowing when they throw the ball at 6. When Materkoski handed this off, he knew it was 6. He had his arms up in the air, singling touchdown, and Redman, man, nice hole up the middle. He's just a sneaky runner and sneaks up through there and scores a touchdown. Wasn't really touched. And the extra point is up and good, and the Reds have a 10-point lead at 17-7.
So in about the last 5 minutes of action, dating back to the second period, Bellaire has seized control for the time being. On the DeFelice Brothers scoreboard, Big Reds by 10. We'll be right back. On the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard, it's Bellaire 17, Martins Ferry 7. George Kellis and Don Sloan on the WTOV TV9 Game of the Week. A packed house and then some, standing room only, all around the fenced areas here at Purple Rider Stadium. Right now, the Bellaire fans are whooping it up on the far side as they have seen their team take a 10-point lead. The home fans a bit subdued, and they need to get something cranking, Don, and I would go back to that ground game and just keep pounding away. There are only 2 scores down at this point in time, but
a lot of time left, 9 minutes in the third quarter, and the Rider ground game's been solid.
Mosslander to kick it off for the Reds. Taken at the 5-yard line. Good coverage by Bellaire. The return by Jimmy Fleming.
Yeah, and Mosslander flew down there and laid on a big stick for the Reds.
So the return out to about the 20. First down, Martins Ferry. What they can't do is lose their composure right here. And I'd love to know. I probably should have asked somebody, but where does that train come from? Where does it go? And
well, how it gets there, it goes right through here, right down the tracks.
Well, I don't
know.
You knucklehead.
Probably coming from the mill.
Oh. But just, it's amazing to me how they always manage to get here right about the middle of the third quarter. I think those guys like football on that train.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Back to the ground game, and here is Danehart. He gets to the outside, the 40, the 50. And they get a pursuit angle on him and shove him out of bounds, but not before Joey Danehart advances the football on a big run to the Bellaire 40.
And you talked about Ferry keeping confidence, maintaining their confidence, keeping their heads up. The young sophomore quarterback Mirch after an interception. They come back next play, and Danehart turning on the Jets. It's football, and you can hit home runs through the air or on the ground, and it's not quite a home run, but a triple. A pretty big pickup for Joey Danehart, showing some nice moves and some good speed.
Makes guys miss, too. 1st and 10, Martins Ferry at the Bellaire 40. And Bellaire is going to be guilty here of jumping into the neutral zone, and that reinvigorates the Purple Rider offense a little bit more. Mark off down to the 35, where it'll be 1st and 5 for the Purple gang.
Yeah, so they're on the 35. This is what they want. Now they 1st and 5, and with the way their running game's cranking, they can definitely make something happen here.
Mirch under center, out of the eye. This time a short pass out to the far side, or rather the near side. Good job there by Brad Wink to pull it in, and the big 200-pounder gets a 1st down. Ferry with the ball now, 1st and 10 at the Bellaire 23-yard line.
And 1st and 5, a nice time, nice play to get Mirch back in the swing of things. Nice safe pass out to the tight end Wink, and Wink, a good effort, puts his head down and gains, what, another 3 or 4 yards.
Danehart for short yardage. Good job that time by the Bellaire interior front and linebackers to close the hole. Bellaire 17, Martins Ferry 7. 7:55 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. The young quarterback Lance Mirch under center. Short drop throws and incomplete, swatted around the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think they were looking for Platt, who was split to the top side on the slant, but somebody got up there and batted it down.
I'm a little surprised that the Riders haven't been a little bit more persistent in the running game on this series.
He's looking for Platt. Yep, somebody gets their arm
got a
off.
hand on that. Now on 3rd and 9. Ferry not afraid to run the ball in these situations. And the throw is caught. It's loose and recovered by Bellaire, and yet another Martins Ferry turnover. And coming out of there with it is 3-0. And there's a guy who has made a contribution tonight, Dustin Barnes.
Mirch is going to throw to the motion man, number 25. This is Platt coming out of the backfield. Boom, you got to get it to him quick. And
Platt had to go up and make the catch, but right here. Wow.
I think that was Mosslander that came with a hard hit to pop the football out. Here comes Redman.
Here's Redman, blast through the middle on the go. He's at the 40. They better try to make a shoestring stop, and they do. Courtney Redman inside the Martins Ferry 10-yard line as Bellaire has exploded following Martins Ferry turnovers here in the 3rd quarter. Belmont Harrison career center instant replay, Don.
Yeah, big hole inside. Redman turning on the Jets. Big gainer here. And one guy could save the tackle, and that's John Yoder. He's a sprinter in their 4x1 team, but not too many of his runs and track were as big as this one. Yoder running down Redman from behind. Touchdown saving tackle, but great effort by Redman down to the 5.
They run a power eye right here. And Redman again gets the call.
Redman, and we've talked about Courtney Redman all season about this. Boy, he hits the hole quick and has tremendous acceleration.
And it took one heck of an athlete to flag him down.
Oh man,
my
the
goodness.
ringmaster. Jerry
Springer, ladies and gentlemen, is in the house. You never know who's going to show up at a Ferry Bellaire game. Second down and goal at the 4-yard line. Here is Materkoski, and he flips it out. This is a touchdown. Benji Littell. That will irritate the Martins Ferry fans that the Bellaire players ran around the goalpost. Another look at this. No one anywhere near Littell. Timeout after this point after attempt. And Bellaire has been pretty nifty on special teams and on conversion attempts. 6:32 to go in the third quarter. Bellaire, which once trailed 7-0 in this game, has surged. It is Big Reds 24, Purple Riders 7 on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. You're watching high school football on WTOV TV 9. And we are back on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. It's now Bellaire 24 and Martins Ferry 7. And the one thing where you really got to hand it to Bellaire, Don, is they're like a shark around blood. You make any mistakes around them here tonight, and they're in the end zone pretty quick. And they have converted on opportunities following turnovers in a big way, and that's the difference in this football game right now.
Let's take another look at the touchdown. Materkoski, good effort here, drops it out. There's Littell out of the backfield and in there for the touchdown, Benji Littell. It's on your Belmont Harrison Career Center instant replay with the Big Reds leading the Riders 24-7, 24 unanswered points for Bellaire.
All right, Mosslander puts a foot in it. Nice kick. Comes down at the 7-yard line. Oh!
Yeah, Vince Stemkowski.
And he absolutely horse-collared Tyrone Platt.
Special teams, pretty special here for the Big Reds. Here's Platt in the return out of nowhere. Vince Stemkowski, boom.
Well, now trailing by 17, the Purple Riders need 3 scores, Don, and I'm sure they're feeling a little sense of urgency down by this much at this point, but they cannot get away from the running game. I really believe that they'll go only as far as their running game takes them. Here's a short pass, and now the Riders have come unglued a little bit. That in and out of the hands of Wink. Wink, a 6'4", 200-pounder, a real physical specimen. You see him down at the field level. He is something. But unable to make the grab right here on certainly a catchable football. 6:23 to go in the third quarter. Second down and 10. Purple Riders have the ball at their own 26-yard line. The pitch back. And here is Danehart. And he works his way ahead for a first down across the 35, or at least very close to the first down, pending where they mark this. I think he's got it.
Pitch out to Danehart. Fallen is blocking
Nice
of the fullback and
block by
Redinger.
Holt.
Yeah, that was Holt paving the way, and Redinger picking up a nice chunk for the first down for the Riders on their own 36.
Ferry needs a score on this drive. They need to get some confidence back in what they're doing offensively. Mirch wants to heave it. It's down there. It is caught on a brilliant reception by Tyrone Platt. And that's the kind of big play they needed. That'll loosen up a defense a little bit too and make you respect the deep pass. So both teams have been able to connect on some downfield throws. Really, Ferry's done a pretty good job overall. The difference in this game are the turnovers. No question about that, and Bellaire's ability to capitalize on that.
Mirch, a strong arm, nice ball thrown, and Platt gets up there. 2 guys on the coverage, but Platt makes the catch, and Mirch, a sophomore, looking pretty good.
Last offensive play right there by the Riders. Not a good result, a loss of 2 back to the 25-yard line. They'll have 2nd and 12 at the Bellaire 25. Punch one in right here, and it can change some attitudes in a hurry. There you saw a close-up of Joey Danehart. Mirch throws under pressure. He's hit as he releases the football. And now the Riders look at a 3rd and 12.
Yeah, Sean Houston, Matt Frizzy coming up with the pressure for the Big Reds. Here's a look at Frizzy, 5'10", 182-pound senior. And Houston's the guy that gave Mike Linsky all kinds of problems in that JM Bellaire game. I think he had, 5 sacks in that game.
Stunning developments here in the 3rd quarter of this game. Mirch on a deep drop. He gets the little screen. Good pursuit by Bellaire to prevent that from going for big yardage. Danehart, the receiver on the play, gets 2, maybe 3.
And I think it took a little longer to develop than the Riders had hoped. Jarrett McPeak was where he needed to be, out making his block, but he couldn't hang on to the block forever. Here's Mirch.
Well, they let everybody come, and
yep. Here it is, setting up the screen. He gets out. And
out he slipped right there, too.
Yeah, and I think, if he doesn't slip, I think he's gone for some yardage because McPeak had the block ready.
Now 4th down and long. They need 11 yards. The pass is intercepted, and back come the Reds with a big block. Here they go, the 30, the 40, the 45, and into Martins Ferry territory at the 49-yard line. And again, the interception by Dustin Barnes. And Don, I mean, the reality of the situation is they've got the young quarterback's been in some tough situations, and Bellaire has been in the right places to make the plays.
Yeah, and that's interception number 4. The turnover's hurting the Riders. Dustin Barnes, he has a pair of them, and there he is, Dustin Barnes in the Belmont and Harrison Career Center. Instant replay.
Bellaire at the Ferry 49, looking to go for the jugular right here. That's Benji Littell, and Littell to the 46, a gain of 3. I'm sure Bellaire will try to work the clock as much as they can now. 3:35 and turning here in the 3rd. Big Reds on top now, 24-7. Ferry scored first. And the tailback gets the call. That's Redman to the 41. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 2.
3 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Let's take another look at it. There goes Redman. Running hard up in there for the short pickup. Bringing up 3rd down in the yard. Reds will send 2 receivers top side, 1 at the bottom, and an eye set up in the backfield.
This will be a 1st down, I believe. All that screaming you hear, I think, is the Jerry Springer entourage, which has now made its way over to the Bellaire side of the field. The Big Reds have a 1st down now at the Ferry 39-yard line. Is Springer running for something?
No, but he's getting. Springer's here for Mark Guthrie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people know why he's here. They just recognize
They see him. Yeah, they know who he is. Materkoski for a loss on this play, back outside the 40. Now there's a penalty marker about 15 yards downfield.
I'll tell you what, though, he was here 12 minutes, I think, before anybody recognized he was here.
That's usually the kind of reception you get when you walk in front of a big crowd.
Ah, is that it?
As ladies throw themselves in your direction.
Well,
Nacho, man, nacho.
I'll tell you what, though. No tomatoes. But the
no vegetation
I'll tell you what, though.
Your way.
If Bellaire's beating Ferry by 17 points, I think they'll cheer pretty much anybody. The fans.
Well, that's the way these fans of both sides are. They're when they're winning in this game, it's like they went to heaven or something, and that's the nature of the rivalry. This is a huge mark-off against Bellaire that comes all the way back to the Bellaire 44-yard line. Second down and 25. Redman back to the 49 of Bellaire. Minute 45, the time remaining here in the third quarter. Big Reds on top 24-7 over the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. As I look down, gazing on the Ferry sideline, Dave Bruni is none too happy. And there is a Purple Rider fan trying to stay amused and entertained. Penalty marker down. Materkoski launches it. A collision, two defenders and a receiver, but
yeah, procedure against the Reds.
Yeah, this is definitely against Bellaire.
Right there, boom. I think that was it was a receiver on the near side moving. So it doesn't matter, but I'll tell you what, Materkoski won't say that because he took a pop when he unloaded that one. 4th and a bunch, 4th and 20.
Yeah, they'll bring the punt team out here with a minute 11 to go in the third. Now we'll see if Ferry might be thinking about getting a rush on here. Punt is away. Ferry did try to come with some heat there. Good coverage by Bellaire. There is a penalty marker down on the near side of the field, however. And a game which was not marred by a lot of penalties, suddenly besieged by them here late in the third quarter. We have the Ferry assistant coaches in the booth to our left, and occasionally I hear them.
You hear some stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. And no, that wasn't that dance they do at the weddings either. What is that thing? The chicken dance.
It's a chicken dance.
I think I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. That made me think of that.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Stay sober, would you? Don't go through the buffet line more than twice.
Problem is, I think Jerry Springer's confused. The Ferry fans are chanting Ferry, and I think he thinks they're yelling Jerry.
A lengthy confab here between the officials and Bellaire. This foul is apparently against Martins Ferry. A minute 6, the time remaining in the third quarter. A game that was moving along rather briskly has suddenly slowed down to a snail's pace as a result of some penalties here in the last couple of minutes. Still waiting for a signal here from Jack Prettyman and company. Now that's a 15-yard mark-off. Something in the neighborhood of a personal fouling. Now if you're Bellaire, what do? Do you punt or do you bring your people back out here? 4th and 7 is a heck of a lot different than 4th and 20-something. Now all of a sudden you find yourself at the Ferry 35-yard line, and boy, if they convert this, That is insult to injury to Martins Ferry, which had Bellaire backed way up and punting the football here just a second ago. Low snap, Materkoski grabs it, has a man wide open, and they botched an opportunity right there. That was just not well executed. Benji Littell was wide open. If the pass is there and they make the connection, he turns around and he's got a first down and no defenders around him. So Martins Ferry at least holding on to a glimmer of hope here if they can get on the board again at some point, perhaps soon. It's 24-7 with 1:02 to go in the third. Single setback.
Yeah, he's going to throw it.
This is a lateral to Tyrone Platt. Platt. Good job. First down up near midfield. They run him out of bounds right at the midfield stripe. 1st and 10, Martins Ferry. That stops the clock with 54 seconds to go in the third.
Tell you what, they threw that screen out to Platt, Meeker, and Wink were downfield. I thought he was going to throw it. Let's take another look.
They may be setting that up.
You never know. Here's the pass out. And he takes it, picks up the first down yardage.
Very well executed. 1st and 10, Ferry. Now they're back in that I formation. Little flare out to the left side. Wink for about 8 yards.
Yeah, they'll take that on first down. Nice pickup. Short pass out to Wink, and Wink gains 8. There's a good look at Brad Wink, a pretty solid tight end, fine tight end, 6'4", 200-pound senior for the Riders. Let's take another look at it. Here, Wink just kind of, he's tight end. He slips right out into the flat. Mirch finds him, gets it, controls it, turns upfield.
Danehart short of the first down by about a yard, and that probably will be the last play of the third quarter. And indeed it is. We have played 3 at Martins Ferry. And it was a big third quarter for the Bellaire Big Reds. On the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard, Bellaire 24, Martins Ferry 7. Back with fourth quarter action here on WTOV TV 9. Fourth quarter on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. Bellaire by 17. Mirch keeps the football. He's got a first down inside the 40 to the Bellaire 37. The Bellaire defensive strategy right now will be, we'll give up some yardage, but we don't want to give up the big play. It's a 24-7 ball game on the Belmont Harrison Career Center instant replay, Don. And
there's another look at Mirch picking up that yard for the first down. Now he wants to do something with that first down. He's back to pass.
That was short, a couple of yards in front of the intended receiver.
Trying to get out to Chris Meeker.
See that again. You'll never see that again.
11:31 to play in the football game. Danehart picks and chooses his running lanes efficiently and gets to the outside, and some positive yardage on the play.
Yeah, called a gain of about 4 or 5. Going to bring up third down.
And about 4.
And about 4. You are correct, sir. Holt, the fullback, paving away.
That guy's a player. I mean, I love the guy. Actually, they're both players, Danehart and Holt. But the thing is, Holt's always doing something out there that goes unnoticed to a lot of people. He made a block on that play right there, and that's what keyed the thing. Mirch throws. The ball's caught by Wink. He's got another first down inside the 25.
Wink, a nice job on the receiving end, an out pattern to the sideline. And the Belmont and Harrison Career Center instant replay, Mirch. And there's Brad Wink hauling it in. First down. Ball down at the 23-yard line of the Reds.
Danehart fighting. Gain of a solid 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. And Danehart, he'll sleep well tonight. He's getting his workload.
Yeah, he's a junior, 5'8", 162. Not that big, but I tell you, he's proved to be pretty durable this season.
Now you're going to see this whole backfield intact for the 2001 season. Another year in the weight room, and that ought to be some serious tandem of people they got back there.
Oh, Holt, great catch. I think he's got the first down. Sure does.
Yep. So very patiently and methodically moving the ball deep into Bellaire territory right here, but it is 24-7 in favor of the Reds.
Yeah, Holt hauled it in as he's getting popped by Josh Preston.
First and 10 at the 13, and they go with the inside run and short yardage on the play. Danehart again the ball carrier. Regardless of what happens in this game, both of these teams have got to come back down to earth real quick, the winner and the loser, because this game can have some psychological implications. They've got even bigger fish to fry next week, whether either team wants to believe that or not. I still think that a playoff game is more important than this game. Here's the pass. I think it's a touchdown. Out of my view momentarily, but I thought it looked like a catch, and indeed it was. Tyrone Platt made the reception. Mirch threw a nice ball out to him, and with 8:52 to go, the Purple Riders get back on the board.
Take a look here and see what happened. Here's Mirch rolling to his left, and he's going to put her up. And Platt hauls it in.
Del Barris doing the camera work down there. That's some pretty nifty work on his part on the sidelines, as always. Fullback on the 1979 undefeated Purple Riders, Del Barris. The kick is good. Timeout. 8:52 to play on the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. Bellaire 24, Martins Ferry 14. We'll be right back here on WTOV TV 9. And we have returned to Purple Rider Stadium, where so many great games have been played, so many great players have performed, including Hall of Famer Lou Groza. Do you dare try an onside kick with this much time left?
Too early.
My guess is it is too early, and that the Riders will kick it away. It's a bullet that eludes a deep man for Bellaire. If Ferry can get down here, they can cause some problems. Good run, look at this, he's still going. The 35, the 40. This is big for the Reds. This is one of the great plays of the high school football season. Barnes. Where do they mark him? I think just short of the goal line. It was mishandled inside the 5. It looked like Ferry was going to trap him deep in his own end. And from nowhere, Barnes emerged with an incredible return.
And how many times you see it happen, a team will have some trouble, muff the return, throws off the pursuit, and sets up a big game. Barnes turning what looked bad for the Reds into something good for them. and boy, broke a tackle, got by a wall of about 5 guys, and turned on the Jets. Big run back by Dustin Barnes, and he took it down to...
I think they called it a touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown.
All right,
Yep.
so it was a touchdown. We'll see right here. He's at the 10.
Jimmy Fleming.
Oh, yeah,
trips
he's
him
in
up.
the end zone, no question about it. So it was Fleming in pursuit, and then they added the extra point. So I would have to say that's a kickoff return for the touchdown of about 97 or 98 yards. And we've got to pick players of the game, and Bellaire's got a few candidates.
Yeah, they sure
and
do.
Barnes' performance tonight, it would embarrass anybody if he were to win it.
Well, what? He had two interceptions, and now in that kickoff return. But the number of riders were there. What ends up happening? That
You're right, Don.
slows that messes up the timing enough where those guys end up over pursuing and getting too far down, and you break that initial wave, and there's nobody there.
His ability to break that first tackle.
Yeah. And that was the way. When he broke that tackle, there was a seam, a wall of about 5 guys there. When he got by that, it was just a matter of who he could outrun.
Well, I don't think there's any question Danehart is going to warrant some consideration for his performance tonight. So is Dustin Holt, in my opinion, for Martins Ferry. But we got a tough call for Bellaire, and Barnes has certainly thrown his hat in the ring for player of the game. Now here's a return by Ty Platt out across the 40. Good blocking by the Purple Riders on the return to the 43-yard line, and here comes that locomotive back into the picture here. 8:28. Early on, we talked about the defenses.
All I've heard you talk about is that train.
Well,
You never had a train when you were a little one, did you?
no, I really did, to be honest with you.
Here comes Platt. He's running like a train. You better get your little one a train.
All right, Mirch is going to throw incomplete. Either he was hit as he threw, because that thing went up in the air, looked like a quail. It was almost intercepted down the field. So the Purple Riders have been taken out of their offensive game plan at this point. They're going to have to put the ball up.
Let's take another look at it. Belmont Harrison Career Center instant replay. Mirch.
Yep, you see he gets swatted as he got rid of the football right there, and it's almost picked off. Rocky Thoburn had a chance at it. Ball in the air again, it's intercepted. I believe that's Mosslander.
Yeah, Joey Mosslander. I believe that's his second.
Ferry is a team that when they have to throw the football, over the years, usually it's not a good situation unless you got Freddie Ray at quarterback or something of that nature. But
here's Mirch's pass, and they know what they're doing. I mean, Ferry's got to put it up, and these guys just playing center field. Mosslander picking it off. 8:10 to go.
The Reds have the ball at their own 46-yard line, and two playoff-bound teams working each other over here, and Bellaire right now with the upper hand. Make no mistake about that. 8 minutes and counting. The Reds lead 31-14. Littell, the ball carrier, got a solid 7 yards. Always beautiful young ladies here in Martins Ferry, Ohio, with big smiles. Just a very pleasant and hospitable town. Materkoski keeps it, and he's cut down. The thing you got to start thinking about right now, and there's a penalty marker on the far side of it. I was just thinking, Don, that the thing you got to start thinking if you're John Magistro is, we got a playoff game next week, and I can't afford to get this guy smacked up. because, you know, the Purple Riders are a very physical football team, and they're not in a very good mood right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Ferry was concerned about keeping Materkoski from hurting with his legs, they've done that.
Yes. They've executed their defensive game plan. The thing
The big plays, right?
is the big play and the turnover. And all of that took Ferry out of its element here as the mark-off for a personal foul to the 30. First down, Bellaire. And they'll work the clock a little bit here as we're under 7 minutes. I guess it's conceivable that these two teams could play each other again.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things shake out before you see who ends up wearing the grouping of 8.
It's not going to happen next week. That I can tell you.
And the big dog looming out there is Coshocton.
They're big and they're tough. But history tells us that these teams won't. Oh, now we've got a personal foul coming against Bellaire, so they'll mark it back the other way. So the two teams getting a little testy. The rivalry between Bellaire and Ferry is alive and quite well here in this new millennium.
So with the win, you got to like Bellaire's chances of being home on a Saturday afternoon then.
No question and there will be an exception. The state will do that. There have been other cases of that. They'll play at home in all likelihood.
Yeah, because this division would play on Friday nights.
Yes. And here's Materkoski on the move. Materkoski is brought down after getting a substantial amount of that yardage back following the personal foul call. He's to the 26-yard line.
Let's take another look at it. And Materkoski, good strong runner, picking up the big gainer for the Reds. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. Under 6 minutes to go in this one.
Redman. The guy goes from a three-point stance to he's like a cheetah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, they talk about the cheetah goes from 0 to 70 in a hurry. This guy is at a dead run as soon as he gets his hands on the ball.
He hits the hole very quickly, and we've noticed that all season with him. He's a kid that you didn't know anything about before the season. He's really come out of nowhere, kind of like Cardinelli down at Park. I mean, he might not have the numbers that Cardinelli does, but big part of the offense for the Big Reds, and he had a long run tonight, one of the biggest plays of this ball game.
It'll be 4th down, about 1.5 yards for Bellaire, and they call timeout with 5:07 to play. On the DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard, it's Bellaire 31, Martins Ferry 14. You're watching high school football on WTOV TV 9. DeFelice Brothers Pizza scoreboard. Bellaire 31, Martins Ferry 14. George Kellis and Don Sloan from Purple Rider Stadium. 5:07 to play in the game. The Big Reds have the football at the Ferry 22. 4th down. They need about 1 yard. Redman's got the yard and the touchdown. Martins Ferry sold out on short yardage. And once Redman found an opening, he went right up the gut, untouched, 22 yards for the score.
Here's another look at it, just like he's done all night. His yardage has been up the middle. He's very elusive, a very shifty runner, and Redman goes in for another touchdown. And the Reds We're up 37-14, trying to make it 38 with 5 minutes to go in this one.
Clayton Williams, who has certainly carried his efficiency here tonight. No question about that. Been perfect on extra points. It was Williams that kicked the 28-yard field goal late in the first half that put Bellaire ahead, and they have not looked back. High snap, ball down, kick is no good this time. So we jinxed him by saying he'd been perfect.
Yeah, but I don't know. It kind of seemed when Jerry Springer showed up, things kind of headed south for the Riders. Because in this second half, Bellaire's opened things up, and the DeFleece brothers beats the scoreboard. Big Reds 37, Purple Riders 14.
.5:02 to play in the football game. Our last regular season game, and it's become a tradition in even-numbered years that we get this game here at Purple Rider Stadium.
Here's another traditional, and you like high school football, you like what you're seeing, you'll love this one. Massillon and McKinley, 12 midnight. 12 midnight. When the midnight bells toll, you can see the Tigers and the Bulldogs. Massillon-McKinley game right here on TOV. Proud to bring it to you. And when we get a chance, we bring some of the better matchups statewide, some of the big matchups earlier this year. I believe we had Massillon and St. Ignatius, I believe it was.
Quick trivia question for you. I know you love it when I do this to you.
Don't.
Oh, yeah.
Don't torture me.
This is one of the oldest rivalries. Dover-New Philly is one of the 5 oldest rivalries in Ohio. McKinley and Massillon is one of the 5 oldest. What is the oldest rivalry in Ohio? Ferry, the return out to the 20, still going actually. Look at this. Look at this effort. This guy will not go down.
Yeah, Jimmy Fleming. Great effort. What is the oldest rivalry?
Troy and Piqua.
Okay. Like I care.
Oh, come on, pal.
Troy and Piqua.
Another trivia question.
I don't think
any Buckeye local fans watching out there? When they went to the state finals in 1994, who did they beat to get to the championship game?
Piqua.
Very good.
There you go.
Danehart on a first down carry.
Who'd they lose to? Chardon?
Unfortunately.
Hey,
It was,
I went to
tough
Rio
night.
Grande the other day.
You're kidding.
Who was the basketball Rio? Bevo Francis?
Bevo Francis
I went
from
to
Wellsville, right?
Bob Evans Farm Festival at Rio Grande, and I drove through.
I think you're right. I think it's Rio Grande.
Rio Grande. That's
Yeah.
what I said. Rio, whatever.
it's the same
Anyway,
thing.
then I came up the Rio, up the river, went to Gallipolis and Pomeroy and all those. Had a heck of a tour. Amazing what your wife makes you do when you have a Saturday off.
Here's Mirch, long pass, wide open. And very well done. The reception made by Chris Meeker. And Ferry in a hurry-up mode right now. They haven't given up. It's 37-14. Even with a playoff game next week, neither team has pulled people out. Pass intended for Meeker is too low. Stops the clock with 4:05. Bellaire 37, Martins Ferry 14.
And I'll tell you what, the Riders came out at the beginning of this game a house of fire, moving the ball offensively. Their pass rush was fabulous, but at halftime, it's a 10-7 game at halftime, and like we saw in the John Marshall game, John Magistro does an excellent job in making adjustments at halftime.
Mirch throws. Over the head and incomplete. Again, it's Meeker, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 10. Ferry at the Bellaire 34-yard line.
Both these teams playing next week.
And Bellaire has, I think, overhauled most of its defensive unit at this point. 3rd down and 10 for the Riders. Mirch back, gets a nice block from Holt, steps up in the pocket, throws incomplete, intended for Ty Platt.
Yeah.
It's a catchable ball for sure.
Tell you what, though, I like Mirch. He's a sophomore. He's got a heck of a future.
He'll grow into a real good quarterback.
And remember, Nate Alexander started the year as the quarterback, was injured in that opener. Mirch has stepped up. There he steps up in the pocket, puts the pass out there, but Platt can't hang on to it. But Mirch, 6'3", 180. He looks like a quarterback.
Years he's going to be a 6'5". He's going to look like Tim Couch out there.
Yeah.
3:53 to play. 4th and 10. Mirch unloads down the field. The ball is, are you kidding me, intercepted. Taken away from Meeker.
Is that Jason Wiggins? Jason Wiggins with the interception. 5'7", 145. Yep.
And he did a great job right there against a more experienced football player. Let's look at this.
Belmont and Harrison Career Center instant replay. Here's Mirch. He's going to let her fly.
It looks like Meeker's there on this, Don.
Yep. Wiggins just wanted it. Wiggins took it right away from him. And you got to be. You're a sophomore, getting your chance to get in. Bellaire Ferry game.
Really pumping.
Nobody was taking that football away from Wiggins.
So Bellaire has the ball back with 3:50 to play, and they have elected now to go with some backup people on the offensive side of the ball. That is Rager on the carry. Jeremy Rager, junior rather, at 5'9", 165. And let's see, they've also made the change at QB.
That's Matt Wallner, who's the holder on the place kicks. Coming in,
and Rager again.
Yep, making the stop for the Riders, Brad Simpson.
A close game at halftime has turned into a big win here for Bellaire. They will finish 8-2, and Martins Ferry 7-3. But the good news is fans of both sides will get to see their teams play at least an 11th game. Rieger, first down to the 39-yard line, and the Big Reds will get a fresh set of downs, and they may have a chance now to run out the clock.
Zach Orzelik, Steve Smith on the stops for the Purple Riders. Orzelik, a sophomore, Smith a junior.
Wonder if Orzelik is related to a fellow that played basketball here back in 1976-77 season for Martins Ferry. His name just, I remember that young man back then was a heck of a basketball player here for the Purple Riders.
I was in the 2nd grade. I don't remember.
You're kidding me. you green stick, you. Players of the game, and I don't think you can take anything away from Danehart, who certainly has carried a big load for Ferry tonight. I'm going to tell you what, we're going to go for probably a little surprise on the Bellaire side, because we've had a couple, 3 Bellaire games this year, and I'm sure that Materkoski has walked off with it and probably would be deserving again tonight. But an unsung kind of a guy.
And this kid stepped up this year, too. Drum roll, please, it will be Dustin Barnes. 2
interceptions and
the kick return.
A 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown that essentially put this game on ice. But I think the 2 defensive plays were huge.
Yep.
Were huge because Bellaire then converted scores following those turnovers. So why not? Junior Barnes and they'll get a kick out of that. They'll be kidding him at practice, I'm sure, Monday.
On the stop for Ferry, Marshall Palmer and James Brown. Also Brad Simpson.
I think Bellaire probably will have to snap the football. Well, actually, it's 4th down, so on 4th and 14.
I'll tell you what, Courtney Redman with the big game for the Big Reds as well. Stemkowski is always very solid.
Oh, they've had a lot of good performances.
Oh,
That's a
look at this
first down
guy.
and more. May go for a touchdown.
Damon
They don't get an
Jeffries.
angle on him over here. Jeffries on a roll. Tried to do the nasty plunge toward the end zone, but with 17 seconds left, Bellaire
Boy,
down there again.
Damon Jeffries, a sophomore, ripping off a big run for
Whoa,
the Big Reds.
man. You got to like the looks of that young guy. At 5'10", 195 pounds, you can't tell me he won't be a factor here in the future. Look at this guy. Look at the legs on this guy.
Yeah, and he wasn't out in the open. He had a few guys that he was pinballing off of.
They give it to him again to try to get him the touchdown, but I don't think that's going to happen.
And that's going to do it.
That'll do it. So, another game in this storied rivalry is in the record books as Bellaire celebrates the victory. And as we said, John, they've got to get back down from the euphoria of this win in a hurry, and Martins Ferry has got to get their chins back up.